I was the only one of the four kids that went to high school with all of us, because Angie was a senior, you were a junior, I was a freshman, and then when I became a senior, Rick was a freshman. I kind of did everything, yeah. Yeah, I mean, my freshman year, I even was a cheerleader, but I was just too tall, basketball cheerleader. But you know, student council stuff, you know, whatever they had. Like if it was a, you know, committee to join, you know, sign me up. But I liked just being involved with anything in the school that was, you know, going on at the time. And then we always had, so the bigger athletes, the two other athletes that we had, the girls, because it was an all-girls school, and we wore those little jumpsuits that, you know, that you play in. Anyway, but in my grade, Kay Stanky, whose father was Eddie Stanky, who was a professional baseball player, and he actually coached the Cubs, I think, or the White Sox, I can't remember what, and then was a coach at the University of South Alabama forever, and really, really good coach. And that, so it was his daughter, and then Linda Degnan, and I were just, we always like to compete fun together, you know, so, you know, and either, and so you'd have like play ping pong, you know, and they'd have these field days, and, you know, one of us would come in first, the other was second, and you know, beat each other, and then we'd always play together. You know, I always would go over to Linda's house and do that. So anyway, it was fun. Mostly, it was that kind of stuff that really interested me, was just being outside. Coach Banks helped me with the high jumping.
One of the things that you were able to do that a lot of the other kids I don't think were able to do was the way you high jumped. You learned to do a
The
specific kind.
Fosbury flop by accident, and
So
it had just come out.
so
Yeah.
talk about the
Well,
Fosbury flop, what it was, and how you kind of learned how to do
Oh
that.
yeah, and I don't even know if so you used to scissor, you know, just do a scissor over the high jump
So
bar.
you kind of run, you throw one leg over, and then the next leg.
Yeah, yeah. So they did, yeah, just scissor, and then apparently somebody, I'd never seen it, so I didn't know, but it just came naturally. I was trying to get over, and what you do is you throw your back over first, and then your bottom comes down, and then your legs go over the bar, and so it just kind of did it. But the first time, and there was somebody said, "Oh, well, that's the Fosbury flop." I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know what it was, and that's what Coach Banks helped with. It's like, here, this is what you need to do, because it's a weird way to do it. You kind of run past and jump back over. I don't know all the, you know, physics of it or anything like that, but it just was natural, and it came naturally to
And it
me.
allowed you to get higher.
You got higher, yeah, because after I did that, well, I always did. I always did well in state in the high jump. I think I was always, you know, first or second every year in state. So yeah, but you know, now everybody does it so much higher. I think the highest I jumped was like 5'2", you know, and I was like 5'10" probably at the time. So now everybody jumps like up here. Anyway, but for somebody, but I never practiced it. I didn't really like practicing that at all. It wasn't fun, like a team sport. It's just a on your own. So, you know, they say get out and practice, and I go and jump a couple of times and go, okay. And I think they finally got us, you know, I think it used to, they had just moved, the guys were still like in sawdust, and they had just gotten those little, you know, cushions. And they weren't that great, you know. I mean, you do it and you'd like roll off. Or I remember one time, like totally, like after I was jumping, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna miss the mat, you know. I barely made it. So I was the tallest girl in the school, and your track team was real small. So you could only take like 4 girls. And so that you had to do a bunch of different things. And so I was the high jumper, but I was the slowest one in the races. Kay was the hurdler. Kay Stanky, Eddie Stanky's daughter. And then I can't remember who else was on the team, but I still remember it was awful. I had to be on the relay team, because and I was always the one. It's like, I remember the guy, you know, Coach Bodie saying like, Val, just don't drop the baton. And I was like either the second or third one, because you want the first one to be fast. Your middle are always slowest. And I remember them going, and after Val runs, it's your job to make up for to catch everybody else that's ahead of us. I was quick, but I just wasn't fast, you know. So, and you'd think I would be without, you know, being as long-legged and tall as I was, but I was just not very fast. Then the big thing I liked to play was volleyball. And Mom and Dad, I mean, Dad was there. Mom was at, I think, almost every game that we ever went to. And Dad was there a lot. I mean, out of town games all the time. We were called the Dirty Dozen because there were 12 girls on the team, 6 played at a time, but you had a dozen on the team. So it was nicknamed the Dirty Dozen long before I joined. And I made the team when I was a freshman. And I think I pretty much started as a freshman all the way through my senior year. Again, helped being tall. And how I could jump and had some good eye coordination. Horrible server, horrible server. Very inconsistent, but everything else I did. I loved to set because I really knew how to do that because I was a good, could spike the ball real well. So, you kind of knew where to place it, but they prefer me to spike it than do that. Anyway, but we'd go to all this, we always, if the other team got more than 1 or 2 points against us, it was rare. We were that good, and our coach was real good, and we were just fun, disciplined, good teamwork, and just had a lot of fun with all the girls. And it was a big thing. And the boys' school the boys would go up, and we went to state up at Montevallo and play at the state tournament. And some of the guys like Randy Copeland and several of the guys would come up and cheer us on. But Dad was always at those state tournaments. And then my junior year, we made it to what they called nationals, but I think it was more like a regional national, and it was in Nashville, I think, Tennessee. And we went there, and I think we were first or second in the national tournament and played really, all the teams from the South. And I made the All-American team that year. And it seems like I made it once or twice. Anyway, so.
So did y'all win state several years?
Oh yeah, every year we won state.
Every year. Okay.
Yeah, we always won state.
Wow.
It was like you won city, you won state. That was it. There was one other team that we usually had a tough time with, but state was a lot tougher because it was almost in the city. There, we were just really good, and we didn't have the competition. So going to state was great because you had some competition. But we didn't play. Back then you didn't have like all these summer leagues and summer camp. It was you did that, and then the season was over, and you played basketball at the CYO, the Catholic Youth Organization, and you'd start the track team stuff. But yeah, that's what I like to do. That was fun.